Okay, so today we're going to do another Dotloop training session, and this one is going to be just a very quick 5-minute topic on, I think, probably one of their biggest hidden gems out there, and it's the Easy Offer Button. Inside of Dotloop, when you create a listing loop and you give it a status, and we're going to run through that here in a second and show you that, you do have the ability to create an opportunity in there for other agents to click on a link and make an offer on the documents that are already in place. So in the past, one of the things that we had the ability to do in our trainings, we showed you how to start a listing loop. And those a simple series of steps where we actually came in there and started the loop, used Google Maps for the address, filled in the details, added all the appropriate documents that our clients had to sign, and then had them sign it, and it came back to us. Once that is done, we then have the ability to create an easy offer. Now, there are a couple ways of looking at this. I am going to show you one I think is, I'm hoping, the easiest and probably the most manageable way of doing this. This particular example, we're going to start with a couple assumptions. The first assumption is we created the listing loop, as I just mentioned. We have sent it over to our clients, and the clients have signed it. So when I click on the loop here, 235 Ridge, in my example, you will see here that I have the loop. Now, your loops may vary. You're probably going to have more or less documents, always depending on what you're doing in here. Depending on if your office has set this up for you, you may have more folders. Most definitely, there will probably be different names in here. What I am going to do is show you what it looks like if you are going to create the folder on your own for the easy offer. But please understand that, like my example here, I do see I have an offer loop. I could add the documents in place here, right? So I could add all of those in here and just move them in. Now, again, it's easy enough to do. This example, I'm going to come in here and we're going to create our own easy offer. But before we do that, we need to pay attention to a couple things in our loop. And it really comes up here where the name of the loop exists. The first thing we need to pay attention to here is to make sure it is a listing for sale or a listing for lease, depending on which one you're working on. But then the biggest one we want to make sure in here is that we have identified the loop status. Before I click on that, notice I have no loop status right now. And if I look up in the top right-hand corner where it says activity log, send earnest request, and submit for review, I don't have anything else up here. But as soon as I come in here and give this an active listing status, so pre-listing, private listing, active listing, even I think under contract will do this for you. As soon as I pick one of these, we're going to sit there and just say this is an active listing since I do have it signed. You will notice now, back up in that same right-hand corner, you actually do have a setup easy offer button ready to go. So now I can take those steps. I could have taken some of these steps to begin with, but let's make sure that's done before you spend any time creating anything out there. So first and foremost, in the middle of the section where it says documents, I am going to click add folder. Now, I always name this a very creative name. I call it the easy offer folder. And with that, you now have a folder in place. Now, a lot of times what I will do in here is come into play and I will move it down a section. That way it's underneath my listing documents. I do like having the listing documents up first and then the easy offer next. So there I can make that happen. Now, with all of that being said, now I can start doing things in here. I can add templates, I can browse files, and I can send emails, right? Well, there are certain documents I'm probably going to have to add in here to make this work. One of them being I'm going to want to add a purchase contract, right? If I'm going to let other agents make offers on this property or help them make offers for their clients on this property, I'm going to need to have a purchase contract. So you're going to want to add that in here. Now, again, it could be a flat file. If you do a flat file, you're going to have to add all the text fields. Not the biggest issue, But if you are using Dotloop Premium account, which most likely you're doing, if you're doing these type of things, you're going to want to pick it from your templates. And then the other things you're going to want to add is if there's any special addendums, any notifications that you want to have in here, anything else that needs to be in here outside of your contract, which would also be your disclosures. Now, you could move them down and always reference your office. Your office may have procedures and practices on how they want to see this. In my experience, a lot of offices want to keep the current listing documents where they are so they can keep it where it's at. So you could move these, but what I am going to traditionally encourage you to do is pick on the documents that you want to move or / make a copy. And when I pick on make a copy, I can pick that. I got 2 ways of copying the document. Copy this as a .loop document, which means all the intelligence stays in place, or copy this as a flat PDF. Flat PDF, all the initials and signatures are hard-coded in there. They will not be changed. There are values for that. Again, always confirm with your office if that's something they want to do. But I am, in this situation, going to copy this as a .loop document because I want all the intelligence to stay. So when I let the other agents do this, they can come in here and quickly add their clients and let their clients sign. So again, the last thing I can do on this step is either add it to an existing loop or to my templates. Again, since we're trying to add this into the same document, I'm going to say to loop. I'm going to pick the one I want in here, pick the offer. You will see in here. That's not the right one. You will see in here the easy offer document right here. And when I click on that, you will see and say copy. Once I do that, I say OK. Down here, you will see, as I pointed out, my disclosures. Again, please note you may have more, and most likely you will have more disclosures than we're seeing right now. But I'm not done yet. As I said, I'm going to probably want to add my contract. Not probably. I'm going to want to add my contract, my purchase contract in my area, as well as any other extra documents that you may see fit. Now, I'm not going to add any extra documents to this, but I am going to come in here and add a contract. So I'm going to come to my templates. I'm going to come to my association folders. This will be your association and or your brokerage folders that you have in place. I'm going to pick on that. I am going to type and search for my contract. I pick it and then say copy. Notice in here, I do have the purchase contract right here. It is up top. Sometimes it places it in different areas. So if you do need to move this and change it in different directions, you can drag. Please be careful. Notice if you're just hovering over another item in the folder, it wants to replace it. So you do want to make sure you move far enough to have that in place. Also note that if you wanted to, you can come over to the 3 dots on each item. And there is a rename button here where you can rename these. So maybe this particular verbiage is not going to be significant enough to know what they're going to do. You could rename this purchase, contract, offer, whatever you want to call it. It can be there. Once I am here, I am almost done with this. I can come in here and just click on the Setup Easy Offer button. Once I have that in place, it's going to ask me, who is my listing agent? If you have people on your team, things like that, you might have other options you can pick by so these people get notified for this. Next thing here is to pick the folder. You can see why I have constructively named this Easy Offer folder because I know which one to pick quickly and easily in the system. Once I have that, I say Easy Offer folder, and from here I say Share Link, and this is my link, so I can copy it. And I can say save. So where can you put this? This can be in an email template. When people get done showing, you can share it with them. Sometimes your showing tools, right? Like we have Showing Assist in our areas. You can put it in there. Sometimes your MLSs will allow that to be available as well, and you can put that in the MLS at the particular listing, and that stuff can come into play, and you can share this anywhere you want. But this is now an active link. So what does this look like from the other end, right? So what does this easy offer do? If I come in here to that, I will show you like they picked on the link here. So you will see in here this is what the agents see for the account, right? This is what they're going to have when they get that link. They're going to click on it. They're going to get the address. They're going to get the documents they have. It's called Easy Offer Folder. Again, you can name it something else if you want to, but I just think it's the easiest one to do. When you come up here, you can say Get Started or click on the little Dotloop icon there. Once I click on that, it's going to have me create an account. Now, if your other party does not have one, they can simply create an account here. Again, you can go back and reference my earlier training. The link will be underneath this, where you can share that with the other agents so they can see how easy and quickly they can set this up and be done with this. Where they can sit there and see quickly and easily how to do this. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my existing accounts in here just to speed things along. In here I got a couple different training accounts that I can use. You will also see if it's on a different device, it will ask you to verify the account. You can type that in there when you get the text code sent to you. Again, if it's a new account, you won't have to worry about that. And this is what the other party sees in here. Now, again, if you'd like to, they can pick a template that already exists. They're probably going to just say skip, and that is fine. They can say skip to this. No big deal. Again, if they're a new thing, they're not going to see that. Now, with that, you will see in place here, they have all the documents they can move forward and sign. Now, again, much like what I taught you in the past, there are probably steps you want to walk them through. Again, please reference them to the other video if you need help with this. But you're going to want to make sure the details are in place, and anything that you need to add in here is already in place, right? Like they're going to want to add the purchase price. They may want to have the commission conversation. If they already see, they can pull that off the MLS. Contract dates they can put in here. Even closing dates, they should know that. They can put that in there, and they can fill the rest of this out. Again, reference the details, trainings in the other section, but they can put that in there, and they can say save, right? When they're done with that, you can say back to loop. And then they're going to want to add their clients into this training session in place. They can add their people in here and move forward. Again, for today's purpose and simple training, I'm just going to make me be the buyer on this one. We're going to say it's a realtor buyer in this situation. I'm just doing that to speed things along in here. So if I pick on the documents, I can add the people in here. And then I can autofill the documents. All right, so I can come in here and fill out the information. Most of this should already be pre-filled out from that stuff because, again, the easy offer, you can fill that stuff out. Come in, and then here I can just fill. So once this is all signed and completed, what you will see in here is another easy offer folder, and you will see the agent's name right here. Again, one of the things that I would probably recommend is renaming it. Add one more thing in place here and give it a date or something like that so you can see what's going on with it and be done. That way it's in place. And that is your easy offer button. Hope that helps. If you have questions, please always reach out to me through email, through the comment section in here. Always happy to help you. Have more questions, please look out for me. And if you're looking for more specific and training for your offices or area, please let me know. I am always happy to help.